r/AskReddit created by routinereddit. What would people take more seriously if it had a different name? Radiation burns, not sunburns. Star damage. I know it's obvious that the sun is hot, but if you really stop and think about it, it's freaking insane. Like, compare how much heat you feel radiating off of a campfire. It's pretty intense, but if you back up like 3 feet it fades away. This freaking sun is millions of miles away and can still burn your skin. It's bananas. Edit. Beneath this comment is 100 replies from people who are smart enough to know the real science behind the sun's heat, but not smart enough to see that 99 other people already made that comment. It's a little bright ball in the sky millions of miles away, and if you can see it, it can burn you from being in it too long. Like, what the heck? The only safe way to enjoy it is indirectly, and you get sad and die if you don't see it. Edit. I was quoting a famous comedian's bit about how insane it is that we're a tiny rock hurling through space at thousands of miles per hour, relying on a deadly fireball in the sky, and how crazy it is that no one mentions it on a daily basis. It's a joke, folks. But there are serious studies linking sunlight deprivation to mental illness, and you would very obviously die without the sun, no matter how much you despise it. I crave star damage. Isn't this from Strange Planet? Yes. You mean affirmative. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. Fanny packs it cold bean like utility pouch, or heck, even crap keeper would be better than fanny pack. Edit. Holy heck, y'all, I think I'm actually gonna rock one. I read out of your guys' responses and here's some solid names. Nutruck, Chaos Poucher, Koala the Hoe to Go, and my personal favorite, the douchebag. I'm contemplating getting one and sewing it's a douchebag onto it. Thanks y'all, thanks for the awards. Y'all will call them bumbags in the UK, but that's also because fanny has a very different meaning here. Vagina, valuable carrier, cooter, container, wizard sleeve, special pocket, minch sack, gash bag, snatch satchel, the poontang pouch, ham wallet, snatchel raffle, walkie talkies, speechy reaches, ambly ramblies, local vocals, and I didn't edit this. Rooty tooty aman shooty, zoomy boomies. Degloving. Sounds not too bad, but should be called skinned alive. Degloving is what I do after a sledding trip, and de-coating, and de-booting, and de-hatting. Then I climb up on deck couch and drink the cocoa, and go to de-bed, where I'll probably debate with de-wife about de-weather, and then make de-love. Waterboarding. Sounds like a fun activity for a day at the lake with family. Ah yes, drowning torture. Apparently you never had a fun day on the lake with my brothers. I'm gonna go waterboarding in Guantanamo Bay. It sounds great if you don't know what either of those is. Broom rape. The crop failure that plant genus causes is highly overshadowed by that ridiculous name. Edit. I've never seen a single episode of 13 Reasons Why, and all the mentions of the show are both confusing and terrifying. Edit 2. I realize I worded the post really weirdly. Oops. Broom rape. Sounds freaking painful though. I'm assuming it isn't with a fun end. I don't think there is a fun end on a broom. Maybe not on your broom. Either end of the broom is the fun end, depending on your sense of adventure. There are probably subreddits for both. Corporate welfare, not bailouts. Fun fact, the government has made money on the bailout of the banks in 08. Lost 11.2 billion on the GM bailout. Well, the GM bailout was blatant corruption. What's worse, the feds got all up in Ford's business, saying hey, you need to take this money too. Only, after that we own your soul. Ford said GFY and survived, only they don't get much credit for being a freaking boss during a catastrophic time. I have no evidence for this, but I think Ford didn't accept for marketing purposes. They were in with GM and Dodge, putting together the proposal for the bailout, and then backed out at the last minute. Growing up in Indiana, a lot of Chevy guys started buying F-150s after that. They had competent leadership. They saw the crisis coming, and sold off everything that wasn't nailed down to raise cash, including Volvo, Jaguar, Land Rover, Aston Martin, a big chunk of their stake in Mazda, and they even sold their HQ building and leased it back. They had enough cash on hand to weather the storm. Now if they could only build an automatic transmission worth a crap, Bailouts seem to be a universally bipartisan disliked thing, yet both parties do them. Pretty annoying. Disliked by voters on both sides, loved by politicians on both sides. Cornhole. I have a hard time getting people to play. Call it a beanbag toss or baggo. It sounds a lot less dirty. Looked up nicknames on Wikipedia. Got beanbag toss, dummy boards, doghouse, dadhole, sacks, beans, beanbag. Some help more than others. Dadhole meant something totally different in my house growing up. Dadhole actually sounds more messed up than cornhole. DAD''S**. That changes everything. Marijuana strains, especially concerning medicine. People would take a name like canoxaprom much more seriously than Unicorn Blood Kush Edit. For those asking, sorry but not a real strain, thought it would be a good name for a strand while watching Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. 100% this. As a prescribed medicinal user myself, it's weird that my medicine is called Super Lemon Haze. Self-diagnosed user here. South London doctors are prescribing things like cookies, Skittles, gelato. It's hard to take them seriously as professionals. Not to be in butthole, but it's probably equally as hard to take you seriously as a self-diagnosed user, and I'm saying this as someone who used in this way for years. Edit. Missed the sarcasm, my bad. He also referred to drug dealers as doctors, did he not? It was tongue-in-cheek, chill out. Didn't catch that. Maybe I'm the baddie. Are you telling me that Alaskan Thunder Freak wouldn't have been a better name than aspirin? Wouldn't you rather go take some green crack than Valium? Doesn't Granddaddy Perp sound more medicinal than warfarin? If you ask me, Big Pharma needs to catch up to the weed industry. Due to Poe's law, I feel obligated to mention that this comment was sarcastic. Aspirin 5000 wouldn't have made nearly as good of a drag name. Until this post I had no idea about the drag queen. In other news, I now have a favorite drag queen. Borderline personality disorder sounds so mild. It isn't. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. And, a different kind of thanks to all the replies describing BPD as terrifying, which isn't a fun way to think of oneself. Edit 2. I wasn't trying to say that terrifying isn't accurate. It absolutely is. It just isn't fun to think about the fact that I'm terrifying. Like you're right on the verge of having a personality. Sounds like you're on the verge of having a disorder. Like, oh, it's kind of a disorder but it's borderline. Instead it's like I'm on the verge of actually making friends, but can't form meaningful connections unless I'm on meds. Yes, it sounds mild. As someone who has experienced it in someone once close to me, I can confirm it isn't. Yep, my dad has BPD, and sometimes, when I tell someone he has borderline personality disorder, they say, at least he doesn't have a full personality disorder. Lol, that is pretty bad. My mom has it, but it didn't get diagnosed until her late 50s. It really put a lot of things in place for me, not going to lie. I just thought I was an awful kid for a few decades. MSG should be called savory salt. You could call it organic seaweed extract, and it'd fly off the shelves at Whole Foods. I work at a Japanese restaurant, and for the minds of the patrons we chose not to use any MSG. When people ask about it, and I tell them all it is a seaweed extractive, though unused in our kitchens, some people are really shocked. They've been fearmongered away from it without actually knowing where it comes from. Edit. Thank you for your upvotes. I've never seen so many. Why yes, I'm a semi-educated waitress. Till MSG comes from seaweed. It's in many foods, tomatoes, cheese, meat, anything with a strong savory taste. Glutamates are the best. They make things taste more like themselves. But, shouldn't things already taste like themselves? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Depression. The name currently conflates an emotion and a completely separate mental illness. That's why when discussing it, I say clinical depression. Clinical depression versus situational depression. You have no idea how tired I get of explaining this to people who say that depression is just a state of mind that you overcome by pushing through. But isn't depression just a fancy word for feeling bummed out? Dwight, you ignorant slut. We got real problems. You got fat butt disease. Hot dog fingers.